Hello guys and welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys a custom origin that I made. And so this origin is called the Lightwalker. Um, as you can see here, this is the origin and it has the abilities. So if I pick that real quick, as you can see, a bar shows up on the right side of my screen. So this is the first ability, photon energy. So this bar will basically charge up whenever you're exposed to the sun. I mean, the sun's kind of closed up by clouds right now, but you're still exposed to it. So this bar is going to be your primary source of survival, as it will do a lot of things that you will need to survive. So moving on to the next ability is an ability called Speed of Light. So basically you get speed 5 whenever your photon energy bar is above 1. So all it has to do is be not 0. So this is more of a quality of life ability so that you can move faster, and it kind of makes sense. So yeah. Moving on, we have the primary ability, photoatomic discharge. So what this ability basically does is, if I press my primary key, you can see it does some particles and it makes an illusionist sound. So what it does is it gives me weakness, invisibility, and resistance. And it gives any mobs within a 20 block distance blindness and slowness. So this is kind of a defensive ability. And yeah. So also, as you can see, when your photon bar is above half, if it's filled above the halfway point, you gain the glowing effect, which is, I don't know how to think about that. So plus you can see I'm kind of transparent and I'm kind of yellow. So yeah. So moving on to the next ability, which is blaze fuel. So if you use a blaze rod, it'll actually charge up your photon energy bar. So this is going to be your source of getting photon energy when you're in structures like when you're in places like caves or very deep dungeons, like if you are playing modded Minecraft. So that's going to be your primary source of survival. So the next ability is an ability called light flight. So basically what this ability does is it lets you fly when a lantern is in your offhand. So if I go into game mode survival real quick, you can, if I press the space bar, the longer I hold it, that I get levitation. So yeah. And as you saw right there, how I damaged myself is a velocity boost. This is basically how you're gonna boost yourself when you're in the air. So you can go a bit faster because walking while you're levitating is kind of slow. And yeah. So moving on to the next ability is your secondary key, which is going to be your primary source of food. So you can't actually activate this when you're like, you can't actually activate this when your hunger bar is full, which is why I'm just going to give myself hunger effect. So yeah, if I do that, I'm going to normal. So I'll start burning hunger. So as an entity of light, you can't actually eat, but rather you have to use your photon energy as food. So yeah, so as you can see, I went down a bunch of hunger. So if I press my secondary key, I gain hunger and regeneration too for 3 seconds. So you can't activate this while your hunger bar is full. It has to be at least 1 hunger below. So yeah. And so I'll just go into Game Mode Creative real quick. So the regeneration 2 only lasts for 3 seconds, which is not the most efficient, but which isn't the best, but it can still be useful. So the next thing is, like, you take less damage from fire. So you're basically tolerant to fire. So if I go into Game Mode Survival right here, so if I do that, you can see that I take less damage. So you basically have as much damage as the normal player, which is kind of unexpected considering that I'm taking almost no damage. But then again, let me just set it to daytime. So yeah, that's because the fire isn't doing damage quick enough. So the next thing is, so light flight as an ability, you can't do with armor on. So for example, if I have full netherite armor on, for example, and if I just use light flight, as you can see, I am going up, but as soon as I let go of the spacebar, I go down. So yeah. So your best bet would be to not wear that much armor, but yeah. And the velocity boost basically activates when you're pressing a spacebar while you're in the air, so that can get annoying. So the next ability is frail. So this is the downside. As you can see, I only have 7 hearts, which is, yeah, because I mean, it's kind of a big downside because to use light flight, which is going to be a primary source of traveling, you're going to need to put on less armor, which means, yeah, you're not going to have much armor, neither no hearts to take damage. So the next ability is wingless. So you can already fly and have an invisible elytra, so you can't wear actual elytras. So going to an end city would be worthless. So the final thing is, if I go underwater, for example, as you can see, I get slowness. So this is due to the concept that light doesn't travel easily in water, but when you go to darker parts of, like, deeper parts of the water bodies, like, for example, if I stand on this block, I only get slowness, but if I go to this block, I get wither fire, which can kill you quite easily when you only have 7 health. So yeah, I'd want to stay out of water. So I think that's about it. That was the Lightwalker origin, and yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. This data pack is still in early development, so I am going to be fixing a couple of bugs in an update. So if you guys want to see that, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. And thanks for watching all the way to the end. Bye.